What's up, good people of YouTube? It's me, Chavez, back with another NFL player prop video for you. Today's Monday, October 16th, 2023. As always, I hope this video finds you all doing well and in good spirits. We're talking Monday Night Football between the Chargers and Cowboys today. I have 3 picks that I want to share with you. So if all that sounds good, stick around, drop a like, sub up, and click the notification icon to get notified of all upcoming content and videos from me and this channel. And without further delay, let's go ahead and get into our 3 plays for today. All right, first play on the board that I want to talk about, Joshua Palmer under 3.5 receptions. He's only gone over this one time this season. That does include 1 game play without Mike Williams. Remember, Mike Williams is out for the season with that torn ACL. Now, contrary to belief, when a player goes down, it doesn't automatically mean the next player slides into that vacant role and just assumes all the production and the targets and the yards and all that stuff. It hasn't really been that way, for Josh Palmer. And I don't think it's going to change in this game. I think Josh Palmer still gets involved in this offense, but just to assume that he just takes the place of Mike Williams, I don't think that's going to happen. He's only hit 4 receptions one time this season. And then in terms of his role in this offense, I think it gets a little smaller this game because we have Austin Ekeler returning from injury, and I think Ekeler will cut into his targets, demanding his typical 5 to 6 targets in this game. So I still think Joshua Palmer gets involved in this game. If you're playing like DraftKings Showdown, he's a good piece to the puzzle. But in terms of just his receptions, I think he goes under that. I also have his fantasy points up here, his projected fantasy points. Very easy to get 10 fantasy points and not get a bunch of targets. 3 receptions, 45, 50 yards, and a touchdown will get it done. So just because his targets or just because his receptions are going to be on a lower side doesn't mean he still can't be productive. But for this video, we're talking his receptions and like the under for Joshua Palmer, and that is going to be our first play for today. Second play on the board, let's talk about CeeDee Lamb over 5.5 receptions. I have his fantasy projection right there as well. So we're looking for a little bit of positive regression for CeeDee Lamb this week. Fewer targets over the last few weeks, 765. I don't think this is going to last. I mean, he is the number 1 receiver on this team. He is the number 1 player on this offense, in my opinion. And so to expect him to be on this massive decline and for it to keep going down every week, I just can't see that happening, especially against a Chargers defense that is allowing the most passing yards in the NFL, 299 of those per game. And then something to keep in mind when looking at his game logs and looking at his numbers, I think his props are really impacted by these 2 lopsided games. One against the Patriots where the Dallas Cowboys really put it on him. CeeDee Lamb wasn't really needed in that game. And then next week they get blown out by the 49ers. And I mean, for whatever reason, Dak couldn't get the ball to him. That offense looked really bad. So 2 back-to-back games of skewed numbers, I should say. Don't be fooled by that when looking at his props and looking at his fantasy projections. So with all that being said, 5.5 receptions, CeeDee Lamb, give me the over, and that is going to be our second play for today. Final play on the board, let's talk about Austin Ekeler over 32.5 receiving yards. I also have his fantasy score up here at 16.7 fantasy points. So heavily involved in a passing game in week 1 versus the Miami Dolphins, 4 receptions, 47 yards. That's just what he does. It wasn't a great game for him. It wasn't something we haven't seen before. That is what he does, and so to see his receiving total today, under 40, under 35, I just think that's a little too low. I think we need to attack that. Gonna see his normal workload today. Ekeler is not the type of back that's on every play. It doesn't play every snap on offense, so he's already seeing fewer snaps, than like your typical running back in the NFL. So returning to a normal workload for him, it's not asking too much. And then he's the best running back on the team. I mean, we talk about when guys get hurt, automatically assuming the next guy up slides into that role. That wasn't the case for Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly was pretty ineffective, as a starting running back in LA. So I don't really see anybody cutting into his role today. I think he resumes normal workload coming off his injury. And then we talk about this injury coming off a bye as well. So he had that 1 extra week to rest He's going to be fresh. He's going to be healthy. We talk about this in the NBA all the time when guys come back from injury. Sometimes their props are set a little too low. And keep in mind, coming off an injury, this is the healthiest this player will be for the rest of the year, right? Because they can't get any healthier than they are right now. So take advantage of these lines for Austin Ekeler. They're not absurd. They're not set too high. I think they're set a little too low. So I want to jump on this one. Give me the over 32.5 receiving yards for Austin Ekeler, and that is going to be our third and final play for today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you like on the board, as well as your thoughts on these 3 plays that we talked about in today's video. As always, thank you all so much for stopping by the channel, checking this video out. Best of luck to you all. Should you tail any of these plays? Oh, also, if you have any interest in seeing what I'm playing today in terms of flex entry, including that will be inclusive of these 3 plays that we talked about in today's video, do check out the free player prop Discord. You can find the link to that in the video description. Now, best of luck to you all should you tail any of these plays, and until my next NFL player prop video, Chavez is